a solution in search of a problem. And I'm going to give 3 reasons why I ask that you join me today in opposing this bill. Number one, this bill is constitutionally problematic. Our state constitution, sections 171 and sections 172 require 2 things. In 171, they require uniformity. This bill, as it exists, creates serious uniformity problems. Those uniformity problems and the issues with fair cash value are not just recognized by me, but also by members of our business community. Many of you all may have received a letter from several of our business leaders, business associations, those being the Kentucky Retail Federation, the Kentucky Chamber, the Kentucky Society of CPAs, the Kentucky Restaurant Association, the Kentucky Grocers and Convenience Stores Association, Kentucky Manufactured Housing Institute, and the Agribusiness Association of Kentucky, who all oppose this bill. And they say in this letter, ultimately, House Bill 260 conflicts long-standing court precedent moving away from assessing the value of the bricks, sticks, and dirt to an approach that includes the value of the tenant in the building, leading to a non-uniform property tax assessments and overvalued commercial properties. Our system is set up in this state and is designed to measure the exchange value of a property. What this bill attempts to do is use the value and use concept and I think poses serious constitutional problems. Number 2, this problem denies meaningful due process. That's also recognized by leaders in our business community who have recognized that the purpose of House Bill 260 is to restrict a commercial property owner's ability to present a full defense to an assessment made by the PVA. I spent nearly 4 years working on property tax appeals for the state, and over that 4-year period was involved in about every tax appeal that was filed. We have a system that starts at the local level, goes all through the state level. That system is not broken, it works, and the majority of the time, the prevailing party is the government. And this bill will actually take away meaningful arguments that can be made when an individual or a business wants to exercise their due process and challenge an assessment from the government. And I think we need to be very cautious about criticizing any business, any person, any individual that wants to have due process and their day in court. And number 3, I'd ask that you oppose this because, in my judgment, this bill creates an uninviting tax environment for our businesses, our commercial property owners, and individuals in this state. And I know as we've went through this session, we've heard lots of conversations, which I agree with, lots of arguments that I agree with, and that's why I supported House Bill 8, that we need to do our very best to create an encouraging and inviting tax environment so we can grow our population and build our base. And folks, in my judgment, this bill will actually do the opposite. It will create an environment that is completely unfair to those folks that are owners of property, and even if they may be corporations, they ought to get a fair shake when they are doing business and being good corporate citizens of this state. And I think it's also important to note that there's a misconception, I believe, that all landlords, all renters are somehow big corporations. I ask that people consider that this will have consequences to maybe your neighbor, your friend, your constituent that maybe has a few rental properties and that just do it as a side hustle to earn a little extra money. And so while I went through my thoughts on this and asked what can be done to make this bill more inviting, more better for our state, I unfortunately came to the conclusion that it needs a wholesale change, and I ask the clerk report House Floor Amendment number 3.
Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 3 to House Bill 260.
Gentleman from Carter.
House Floor Amendment number 3 does 2 things. Number 1, it guts the bill, which I think is good for our business community and for the people of this state because it is problematic. And secondly, it does something that we've heard a lot of people talk about this session. It will actually remove the motor vehicle tax assessment. And I think that's something that, given our current situation, that our constituents and our state can benefit from. And I move for adoption of House Floor Amendment number 3.